Some basic principles when teaching grammar are that the rules we give students, these have to be true and simple. So, a good practice I recommend doing when you're planning your classes is to give yourself a moment to reflect on the rule you plan to write on the board and try to prove it wrong. This is very helpful for narrowing a rule to, let's say, its most simple and truthful state. For instance, we use the simple past to talk about finished actions. But what if I say, someone has broken the window? In this regard, breaking the window is something that is finished, it is not being broken at the moment we utter this. We can say then, this is not a good rule. We use the present perfect simple to talk about unfinished actions is just the same thing as the previous example. Recent actions in the past, what if I say, I just finished my homework? This is also recent. Actions at an unspecified time in the past, I went to the movies when? Who knows? Repetition of actions in the past, your son didn't do his homework on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. It is when we see these examples that we realize that these rules don't hold true anymore, so we need to devise a new set of rules. However, this is not always an easy endeavor, it requires a lot of thinking and a lot of attempts from the teacher, and sometimes from students. This has happened to me. And I enjoy proving it wrong when this happens. With this in mind, we can say, the simple past is used to describe finished time periods, and some adverbs we can use in the simple past are, yesterday, ago, when, last. If we think about this, yesterday is finished, 2 days ago is finished, last night is finished, and when I was 10 years old is finished. So, we can prove this. Now, the present perfect simple is used to describe unfinished time periods. It connects the past to the present. And some adverbs we can use in the present perfect simple are, since, for, yet, ever. We can now compare using timelines, which I find is very effective. I have been sick for 3 days. Today, I'm still sick. The past is connected to the present. The period of time of being sick has not finished. I was sick for 3 days. Today I'm well. The period of time of being sick is finished. This rule holds true whenever we are using time markers. I've driven 50 miles this morning. I can still drive more miles in the morning. The period of time of the morning hasn't finished. I drove 50 miles this morning. I cannot longer drive more miles in the morning. The period of time of the morning is finished. So far, our rule stands true and is simple. What happens when we encounter the following? Someone has broken the window. Someone broke the window. Teachers and students need to be aware that although we may like rules, language doesn't always work that way. There will be some times when in a culture or the own language history doesn't allow a clear logic rule. In this case, it's because of the culture. Nevertheless, we are lucky that this example is exactly the same as Spanish grammar. Consider the following. Let's imagine 2 football players, a Mexican and a Spanish one, who while in a game suffer an accident and both injure their ankles. The Mexican player would say,
Me lastimé el tobillo.
the Spanish player would say.
Me he lastimado el tobillo.
The situations are exactly the same. The construction is different though. This depends on how different cultures see time itself. I happen to have a Spanish student to whom I gave this specific class. He told us, it's because we use the present perfect for the past that happened today, and the simple past for the past that happened yesterday. And at that moment the rule was proved to us all, students and myself. The present perfect is used for unfinished periods of time. Today is not finished. That's why the present perfect gives us a feeling of closeness to the present. It connects the present to the past. Sometimes it is difficult and time-consuming to devise rules this way, but most of the time, they pay off.